Before I begin this review, I'm going to say that I am not jealous of this user, and I'm not doing this for attention. I've watched this series for 2 years, and I'm doing it for this reason. I like this show. Now, let's begin. Hello everyone, it's time for another review. Today I'll be reviewing RebornUmbreon's finale to his series, PokeEmpire, Geno War 2. For those of you who don't know, PokeEmpire is a series on YouTube about a Nidoran who wants to be an elite, aka soldier, for the royalty of the empire he is living in. Along his journey, he encounters a war vet named Darkrai, who was imprisoned in a moonstone over a decade before the series, an assassin named Weasel, a random Snivy whose mother works for the enemy Genesect, who leads the enemy empire, Geno Empire, and many more as they fight against the Geno Empire who wants to take over. I like the concept of this, and I thought it was a good pace in terms of storytelling, and I felt like if the show went on a little more, the characters would have more personality and growth than what we already have. But the guy who made this series decided, hey, let me make a movie instead of giving them development and growth. And thus, we got the Geno War 2 film. First off, having a series end with a film kind of reminds me of a certain film named, what was it? Oh yeah, End of Eva. And you know what? That comparison I find actually fits. The story of the film has the enemy Genesect fighting PokeEmpire, as well as his right-hand man Durant leading the charge. Nidoran and his friends win the battle and the series ends. As a story, you may think it's not that bad. It's a war movie after all, so it won't have the best plot out there. But I still think it wasn't that well in terms of ending the series. Oh, and side note, the incest/pedo scenes don't help. Thanks for the mind rape, by the way. Here's one issue I found, and for the rest of this I'll be addressing issues with the story for a little while. First off, while Superior and Floats will have an ending, though an issue with Superior's pregnancy is that she fought against people despite her being pregnant. Yeah, great parenting, dumbass. Hitmontop, aka Tyro, had nothing aside from repeating what his grandfather did in terms of a story ending. Vaporeon, aka Eevee, didn't get any development at all after appearing in Season 2. Duwat, aka X, I'm pretty sure somebody could make a parallel in my series, but wasn't developed that well aside from being an old student of Darkrai. Maybe if he was introduced early on in the series or hinted at, maybe he would have been better, but no, movie exclusive. But I feel the worst development in this movie was Nidoran, aka Nidoking. His goal throughout the series was to become an elite. So what happens after he saves the Empire and RCSM offers it to him? He rejects it! At first I thought, well, okay, maybe he'll get it in the epilogue. Nope! Nothing! Not there either. And I guess as a nitpick, the ages were unnecessary. And it makes it even more stupid. What's the point of having these if this is the end of the series? Does it really matter putting it in the first place? If this was early on in the series, I wouldn't have a complaint. But this is at the end of the film, so it kind of makes them kind of irrelevant, don't you think? Oh, and as for the veteran Darkrai, being a former elite and fighting against many wars and many enemies, basically wants to go out like a warrior. How does he go out? Explosion. He doesn't die with a crowning moment of awesome. He doesn't even kill the guy that basically chopped off his arms and shit. So, come on! Throughout the series, this guy was a freaking badass. He was training Nidoran, he did all this shit, and for his death, he gets this. Might as well friggin' pissed on him, don't you? This is why I consider this on the same level as End of Eva. The characters you liked in the show get shit-canned just to end the series. The only thing missing is the religious symbolism. Lastly, the gore. I realize this is a war, okay? People are gonna die, people are gonna get blood and shit. The gore gets old after a while when it's repeated. One of the things I noticed was constantly getting smushed by the foot. This happened 3 times around that, and on the third one, aka Durant's death, I was furious. It's like that's really all they do. Oh, sure, they have arm decapitations and shit and ripping somebody in half, but that's it. Lame. And even for a war, it's kind of small, actually. I guess that's a word I'm thinking of, because the only wars I can think of is Durant fighting Genesect, and that's about it. Durant had been hyped up throughout the show as the leader of a revolution, the Unova Revolution. How does he go out? Smushed by Nidoking.
My apologies, my pet cricket has restless leg syndrome.
Let's not even get into how Durant has a hard shell since he's a steel type, but not even giving him a good end as a villain kind of makes your villain shit. Speaking of which, Genesect getting killed by a spike. Some of you may be saying that I shouldn't be insulting the creator on this. If you're going to kill a character, give him respect in his end, even if he is a villain. Best example, Madara Uchiha. He died of old age, yes, but he helped Obito out and made a huge impact in the series. I think a better way of this, and this is just my opinion, is have Durant survive the stomp and have a fight to the death with him. Nidoking shredding his skin, of course getting some blood and scars and shit. It's a war after all. You're supposed to be fighting for your life. And stabbing Durant through the heart, killing him. There, you got your gore, and you see Nidoking being a warrior like Darkrai, which is what he was supposed to be throughout all of this series. He wanted to be like Darkrai. As a positive, I do like some of the new characters like Miss Magus and X, despite X not being developed that much, but that's about it. If this was a regular movie, would I have an issue with these elements? Kind of, but I would be anxious to see the story develop after that. But this is an ending to this 2-year series. I was extremely let down in terms of story and characters. There were a couple other issues, but I realize that some of this guy's fans will try to pull out the jealousy card or defend him and saying, I don't understand the movie, that's why I hated it. No, I understand completely. He wanted to end the series on a high note. But it's titled Concept and Execution. And here's another thing. My opinion is not fact. If you like this film, why would what I say affect you? If you have an issue with my points, that's fine. If you don't, however, then how does what I say about this ruin your experience with the film? I don't hate this user for making the film, nor am I jealous of him. I just felt disappointed upon the second viewing of the film. If I were to give the rating to this film, I would give it a... You know what? I'm tired of this numbering system shit. So you know what? Instead of that, I'm going to give it a rating in terms of Pokemon. 4, actually. Togekiss being labeled awesome, Articuno being a good, Oshawott being an okay, and Gardevoir being a not very good / bad film. In terms of a normal movie, I'd give it an Articuno. As a finale, however, to this 2-year series, I give it a Gardevoir. But that's just me. Like I said before, I don't hate RebornUmbreon. And it is not the worst film out there. Hence why I gave the 2 ratings. I suggest you watch the movie for yourself if you're into Pokemon and want a darker story. Same goes for the series. I'll also provide a link to the film and the playlist for the series if you wish to go and watch it, because I really do recommend it to watch it if you want to judge for yourself. So that is my review of Geno War 2. Don't be afraid to leave a comment on your opinion of this film / review, and if you disagree, feel free to call me out on it. See y'all next time, and I'm sending this to RebornUmbreon so that he sees it. Have a good day.